Welcome to Mindful Leadership, Transforming Lives, with your host, Singh. This is where leadership meets purpose, presence, and passion. In today's fast paced, high pressure world, we face a leadership crisis. Too often, teams are led by managers who lack empathy, clarity, and vision, leaving individuals uninspired, disconnected, and undervalued. But it doesn't have to be this way. Great leadership isn't born, it's built. The end game: empower your leadership, inspire the world. Every week, join me, your host Singh, as we tackle the gaps in leadership and life coaching head on, learning how mindfulness, emotional intelligence, and compassion can redefine success. This isn't just another podcast, it's a mission to fill the void left by ineffective leadership. And it's not just about leadership in business. Life coaching for leaders and new executives is at heart of this journey. Ready to rise above the noise and lead with clarity, purpose, and impact? Join a global movement dedicated to reshaping the future of leadership, one mindful moment at a time. Let's begin.
Welcome back to another episode of Mindful Leadership Podcast on the Transformation Network, the podcast where we turn stress into strategy, overthinking into clarity, and overwhelm into momentum. I'm your host, Singh, the leadership coach who knows that growth does not happen through burnout, it happens through alignment. Let's begin. Let's set the scene. It's game time. You are walking into a high stakes meeting, performance review, big pitch, maybe even a crisis update. The kind of meeting where you can feel the weight of the room before you even sit down. You have prepped. Oh, yeah, you have prepped. You ran through your points in the shower, you rehearsed them in the car, you even tried them out on your own dog. And let's be honest, he was not impressed. But anyway, here you are, ready to crush it. And just as you are about to deliver your opening lamb, someone interrupts with a completely unrelated question. Or worse, your Zoom screen freezes on the most unflattering frame possible. Now you're stuck, mind blinking, looking like a startled goldfish, the internal meltdown. Your brain, it's going full hamster on an energy drink mode, and your calm is gone. And suddenly, instead of leading, you are reacting, trying to claw your way back to control. Now, here's the thing: leadership is not about avoiding these moments. Because trust me, they are coming whether you are ready or not. Leadership is about what you do in those moments, how you respond when chaos tries to kick down your door. And let me tell you a secret: the leaders who thrive in those moments, the ones who don't just survive but actually own the room, they have mastered two things: confidence that's steady. I have got this energy that makes people believe in you even when things feel shaky. And second, empathy, that ability to connect with humans on the other side of your bold decisions. And here is the kicker: it is not either or situation. It's not, do I lead with strength or heart? The best leader do both. Today, I will teach you how to use lead reset, a simple 20-second practice that brings confidence and empathy into balance right when you need them the most. Think of it as your mental reset button for your leadership moment. By the end of this episode, you will have a game changing tool you can use the next time life throws you a curveball. Whether it is a surprise question, a frozen Zoom screen, or I don't know, someone asking for feedback on their fifth version of a Slack emoji policy. Stick with me, we are just getting started. So let's talk about one of the biggest myths in leadership: this idea that you have to choose between being a bold decision maker or a compassionate team leader. Like, you are either Gordon Ramsay screaming your way to results or Oprah handing out emotional support and good vibes. Here's the truth: that is nonsense. Leadership is not either or equation, it is a both and. Because if you lead with power but no empathy, you're not leading, you are bulldozing. And yeah, you might look strong, but for your team, you're suffocating. They're just following orders, not following you. Now, on the flip side, if you lead with empathy, with no power, you're not leading, you're just there. You're warm, you're likable, but people don't respect you when it is time to make the hard calls. So, what is the sweet spot? It is partnership. When you combine confidence and empathy, that is when people trust you. That is when they choose to show up for you, even when things get hard. Let me give you a real world example. Back in 2014, when Satya Nadella took over as CEO of Microsoft, the company was not just struggling and with market share, they were struggling with morale. The culture was cutthroat, innovation dying, and people leaving. Satya could have come in swinging, making bold decisions without caring about people behind them. Or he could have gone full softy, listening to everyone's concerns without fixing any core problems. Instead, he took the third approach. He did not just focus on strategy, he focused on empathy as well. He asked leaders to listen, to collaborate, to get curious about what their teams need. And here is the key, he paired empathy with action, bold, clear decisions that showed people he was not just hearing them, he was leading them. That is the partnership I'm talking about. Confidence earns attention, empathy earns trust. Together, they build influence. Let it settle. Confidence earns attention, empathy earns trust. Together, they build that influence. And let me say this, if Satya Nadella can transform the culture of a 2 trillion company with empathy and confidence, you can absolutely transform your Zoom meetings. Let's keep this in perspective, people. Here is $1 million question. How do you actually lead with both confidence and empathy in the moment? So how do you find that balance when chaos is knocking at your door, your inbox is on fire, and your team is looking like, what's the plan, boss? Let's break it down. Let's talk about confidence first, because here's the deal. Nothing sends a team into a panic spiral faster than watching their leader look unsure. It is like turbulence on a plane. If the pilot is freaking out, guess what? You are gripping that armrest like it owes you money. But here's the truth, confidence is not about knowing everything, it is not about having every answer, it is not about delivering the perfect one liner in the boardroom. Confidence is about stability. It is about showing people that even when the ground feels shaky, you are steady. And let's face it, we have all been in situations where we felt anything but steady. Like when you are in a Zoom meeting and the Wi Fi freezes right as someone asks you your plan, or when you're presenting and someone hits you with a question that feels like it came out of the left field, the parking lot, or outer space all at once. So, how do you stay steady when chaos shows up uninvited? How do you channel confidence even when you are scrambling inside? So, let me break it down. Here are 3 ways to build the kind of confidence that calms chaos, not just for you, for everyone around you. Preparation. Know the game before you play it, right? Preparation is power. You don't walk into a big meeting, a tough decision, or a crisis hoping to wing it. That is not confidence, that's recklessness. Think of it like this, you would not show up to a basketball game without knowing the plays right. Leadership is the same way. Do your homework, understand the variables, map out potential curveballs before they hit you in the face. Confidence is not about pretending you have all the answers, it is about walking in with clarity. And clarity that comes from preparation. Now, here's the second big one, staying flexible. Again, confidence is not rigid. It is not about sticking to plan A like your life depends on it. Real confidence is being able to pivot. Picture a quarterback calling an audible mid play. They're not panicking, they're adjusting. because they see the bigger picture. So ask yourself, are you so logged into your plan that you're missing better opportunities? Or worse, are you doubling down on something that is clearly not working just to look confident? Flexibility, my friends, is not weakness, it is strategy. And when you're flexible, your team feels safe taking risk too. And finally, and this one is a game changer, project calm, especially when you are unsure. People don't hear your words, they feel your energy. If you walk into a room radiating stress, even if you have got the best plan in the world, your team is going to feel that stress and mirror it. But when you project calm, you become the signal in the noise. Here's a trick: speak 20% slower than normally you would. Open up your body language. Don't cross your arms or fidget. And when you are answering that curveball question, take a beat before you respond. That pause does not make you look uncertain, it makes you look intentional. And here is a mantra for comments like this: calm is a command. See, when you project calm, you're not just grounding yourself, you're grounding entire room. Your voice, your presence, your energy, they become the anchor. But here's the thing: confidence without empathy can come off as cold, like the kind of leader who is all business and no heart. That is why the real magic happens when you balance confidence with empathy. Stick with me, because up next, we are diving into how to lead with heart without losing your edge, right? So, if you talk about leadership in real time, those moments where everything is moving at the speed of chaos, and you are the one everyone is looking at to make sense of it. Maybe it is a curveball in a meeting, a tough conversation with your team, or that one email where every sentence ends in an exclamation point or a question mark. You know the one. And instead of reacting like the calm, collected leader you want to be, you are suddenly channeling your inner stress monster. Panic sets in, the words come out a little too fast, a little too sharp, and now everyone's wondering, should we be panicking too? Now, here's the thing: leadership is not about avoiding those moments, it's about resetting in those moments. And that's where the lead reset comes in. It is a 20-second practice that brings confidence and empathy back to balance, helping you lead with clarity when everything feels messy. So think of it as leadership equivalent of a mental pit stop: quick, effective, and it gets you back on track. Here is how it works. L, lower the noise, right? So the first thing is to pause. Take one slow, intentional inhale. Drop your shoulders, unclench your jaw. Yeah, I'm talking to you. Bring your awareness out of your racing thoughts and into your body. This step quiets the internal chaos. It's like hitting the mute button on that mental static so you can actually hear yourself think. Next is empathize with the moment. Ask yourself, what might be the feeling right now? Not to fix it, not to solve anything, just to see it. Because here's the deal: empathy is not about agreement, it is about acknowledgement. And when you can acknowledge someone else's experience, even silently, it softens the defensiveness in the room. Empathy does not mean you are giving up your authority, it means you're using it to connect, not to control. Then the third step is to anchor your intention. And this is game changer. Silently declare to yourself, my goal here is clarity, not control. Let that sink in for a second. Because so many leaders slip into control mode when things feel chaotic. And that is when confidence turns into micromanagement. But when you anchor your intention in clarity, your confidence stays grounded. It is not about ego, it is about purpose. And finally, deliver with calm precision. This is where you take action. Speak your next sentence 20% slower than you normally would. Let your voice be the signal, not the noise. Now, you would say, why slower? Because a steady voice signal a steady mind. And when your team hears calm precision, they trust you even if the situation feels uncertain. All right, let's try it together. Seriously, don't just listen. Do this with me if you can. Inhale, drop your shoulder, unclench your jaw. Think about what you or someone else in your space might be feeling right now. And anchor your intention. Get clarity, not control. And now say one sentence slowly. Maybe it is. We'll work together through this. Or I need a moment to think. That is it, 20 seconds. And just like that, you're back in control, not just of the momentum, but of yourself. Now, here's the beauty of the lead reset. It works in any situation. Whether you are leading a meeting, resolving conflict, trying to figure out why someone added 17 people to a reply all thread, this practice brings you back to center. Because leadership is not about being perfect or always having the right answer. It is about showing up steady, clear, and human, especially when things feel messy. And remember, calm, that is contagious. When you lead with calm clarity, your team does not just follow you, they trust you. So next time chaos shows up uninvited, don't react. Reset with lead and lead the moment. Again, looking at any micro practice related to mindfulness, a deep intentional breath and trying to feel where that breath is going. Too large, inhale and exhale. That is all that is needed to connect with the prefrontal cortex. When you connect with the prefrontal cortex, you can become an observer of what you are feeling, what is happening in that moment. And once you feel and understand, you can name that emotion, that feeling, because you became observer, not a practitioner. And when you can name it, you tame it. Now your brain knows when next time this emotion, this feeling, this incident, this smell happens, it's not fight or flight. I have a name for it. I can relate to it. It is known, not unknown to fear. All right. Going back to the topic today, right? Um, let's talk about one of the biggest leadership myths out there, the idea that leadership is all about big moves. You know, the dramatic Hail Mary passes, the all hands speeches where you drop a mic worthy one liner and everyone slow claps. Look, I'm not saying those moments do not matter. There are places for those moments, but real leadership, the kind that builds trust, loyalty, and results, it happens in the smallest moments. I'm talking about the little things that don't make headlines but leave a mark. Like noticing that one team member who's been quieter than usual in meetings and taking 2 minutes to check in, or saying, "Hey, I saw how much effort you put into that presentation. Thank you." See, these micro moments of empathy, they are like compound interest. Tiny deposits over time that builds trust, loyalty, and connection. And let's be honest, trust is actual currency of leadership. Without it, you have got nothing. I'll give you two stories. A few years back, I worked with a leader who was, let's just say, big picture only. They were great at strategy. When it came to connecting with their team, well, let's call it efficient. No small talk, no check-ins, no acknowledgement of effort. And here is what happened: the team stopped coming to them with problems. And when you are in leadership, that is a nightmare. Because if your team does not trust you enough to bring you the messy stuff, guess what? You're flying blind. So we worked on one simple shift. I challenged them to notice and acknowledge one small win every day for one person on their team. That is it. No long speeches, no grand gestures, just one genuine, specific acknowledgement. Something like, hey, I noticed you had handled that client who was about to explode and you diffused it like a pro. Thank you. And the result, within 6 months, that team went from disconnected to dialed in because people don't just want to be seen, they want to feel valued. And when you show them that you see their effort, their humanity, their contribution, you are not just managing, you are leading. And here is why this matters. Leadership is not about perfection, it's about presence. Your team does not need to be some all knowing guru. They need you to notice, they need you to care. And the best part, the micro moments don't take extra time, they take extra attention. So let's break down something you can use today. I call it C framework. Again, simple: spot the effort, express appreciation, engage with curiosity. Notice the small things your team is doing right now, not just results, but the effort. Try this with your kids too. Be specific, express appreciation. Great job. That's nice, but I saw how you stayed late to finish that report on time. That meant a lot, is better. And engage with curiosity. Ask one follow up question that shows you care. Something like, how are you feeling about the progress? Or what do you think we could do differently next time? See, spot, express, engage. Spot, express, engage. It's that quick, it's that simple, and it works. It's almost 10 years back, 12 years back. I was in charge of a large team, just took ownership of a large team globally. The team was sitting in, it's a different issue that it was sitting in three different countries, but the largest team was here in the United States. And it was about 200 people, a whole floor, 200 people, whole floor. And when I took the responsibility as a director for that team, in the very couple of days, I realized, in the initial couple of days, I realized that everybody would try to skip manager's cube or manager's office if they have to walk out of their cube, go to restroom, go to and do anything else. And I asked a couple of them, hey, what is going on? And the response was, without words, telling me that they did not have that relationship. So I challenged my managers. I challenged my managers at all different layers there that I want them to genuinely bring one soft but positive information about one member in their team and present to me. Forget the team, just present to me. You have no idea how hard it was for them. Literally 200 people, a group of 10 managers cannot bring one positive thing, one simple, soft, positive thing about one person in the team. And they have been leading for years, knowing most of them personally also. Move gets spotlight, but small moments build the foundation. And when you get that foundation right, that is when your team feels safe enough to perform, inspired enough to innovate, and connected enough to follow through the hard stuff. I started showing that experience to that team, and I started what I call leading by walking or leading while walking. As I'm walking between the meetings, I would have those independent, individual, short conversations, anybody I saw. And the effect in less than 3 weeks, those same employees who would try to avoid any of the manager's cube or office so they are not asked a question started being around my office. And that made a true relationship in the company. Leadership is not about being grand, it is about being grounded. And it is in those little moments where everything changes. All right, let's land this plane. Leadership is not about having all the answers or dodging chaos. It's about showing up steady when things feel unsteady. It's about being a lighthouse in the storm, not running around handing out umbrellas. So here's your today's move. Sometime in next 24 hours, when you are faced with any kind of leadership moment, big, small, or one of those, I swear, if one more person emails me about this moments, right? Use lead reset. Here's a quick play by play. Lower the noise. Take one deep breath, drop your shoulders, unclench your jaw, empathize with that moment. Ask yourself, what might this person be feeling right now? Not to fix it, just to get curious. Anchor your intentions. Silently remind yourself, my goal here is clarity, not control. Deliver with calm precision. Speak your next sentence 20% slower than you want to. Let your voice steady the moment. That is it. 20 seconds. A quick reset that brings confidence and empathy back into balance. Because confidence earns attention, empathy earns trust. Together, they bring influence. And hey, if you're ready to go deeper on this, if you're thinking or saying, I get it, but how do I figure out what kind of leader I actually want to be? I got something for you. DM me the words empathy leader on LinkedIn. I'll send you the purpose factor assessment. This is the tool I use with leaders to help them uncover what drives them, what anchors them, and how to lead with clarity, confidence, and heart. Leadership is not about avoiding chaos, it's about transforming it. So here's my challenge for you: lead with strength, lead with heart, and most importantly, lead like you, because the world does not need another copy paste leader. It needs you. I'm Singh, your host, and you're listening to Mindful Leadership Podcast on the Transformation Talk Radio. You got this.
Thank you for watching Mindful Leadership Transforming Lives. With me, your host, Singh. We are honored to have you join us on this journey to explore the transformative power of mindfulness, emotional intelligence, and authentic leadership. Tune in every week on transformationtalkradio.com at noon Pacific on Tuesdays, where we will continue to explore how mindful leadership can create a ripple effect of positive changes in your life and lives of those you influence. This show is dedicated to helping you lead with purpose, presence, and passion. Whether you're navigating the complexities of business, building strong connection with your team, or striving to make a meaningful impact in the world around you. To learn more about the show, access additional resources, or dive deeper, visit singpowerupcoach.com. Remember, leadership isn't just about what you do, it's about who you are. Let's continue to transform lives together, one mindful moment at a time. See you next week.